Okay, guys. So like, just I'm gonna do my Mario voice. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Wahoo! What's up, listeners? Welcome to Predator versus Movies. I'm Mario. Just kidding, guys. I'm Alex.
And I'm Luigi. Wait, I'm Peter.
I'm Aidan. I'm Aidan.
Sorry,
Aidan,
there's a
wait,
fun
Aidan,
Sorry,
were
guys,
you
I don't know
doing
what
a
happened
toad?
there.
Were you doing a toad over there, Aidan?
This is a podcast where we discuss and review the latest movie releases. We're going to start off with a non-spoiler review before diving into a deep discussion of the film, and then we're going to ask the most important question: would this movie be better if the alien from Predator was in it? This week, we're going to be reviewing the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Before we get into that, we have some news. So, Shrek 5 is in development, and the voice cast from the original film series are in discussions to return. And amid those discussions, somebody said we should have a donkey spinoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. As a Shrek hater, Donkey is my favorite character from it.
Shrek hater.
I don't like
Man.
Shrek. I've never liked Shrek.
I love
Since
Shrek.
Even when I was a little kid, I was like, this guy's ugly and gross, and I don't support him.
Man,
Aidan was just like never a kid,
There's just like a lot of hate energy
Childhood,
from
what
Aidan
is
today.
that?
This will just be in hating on kids things today. I saw a take that was like, the reason why Puss in Boots works is because that is like Zorro, and Zorro is like a character that definitively works. Donkey is a comedic side character. This is not gonna work. I do have my doubts. I don't know if it'll work.
Wait, speaking of voice cast returning, did we ever cover there's going to be a Scott Pilgrim animated series on Netflix?
We didn't cover it, but I did hear about that. Yeah, it's gonna be
that was cool.
Specifically anime.
Yeah, but
Not
that one
animated.
everyone's returning, which is sick.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But also for the donkey spinoff, I think it's interesting that they're capitalizing off of the recent donkey love. Io, Jenny the donkey from Banshees.
Yeah.
Feel like we're just in a donkey era right now.
The Donkey Golden Age, yeah.
Yeah. Other news about animated series, I suppose, is that we are getting, after the long wait is over, after a short 7 years, we are getting the live action Moana.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's what we needed.
Yeah, they didn't even do Frozen first. Like that's what you would think would come first.
No,
please
like
don't
a
year or two older.
Well, they shouldn't be doing any of this, to be
No,
really
they shouldn't.
clear.
But
This is awful.
I'm just really surprised that after so many attempts, Disney hasn't realized that people don't want this live action stuff. But I guess like it has
Some
to be
people
selling.
do.
No, that's
Really?
the issue. Is that they
It's
make a
doing well in
shit
box
ton of
office,
money.
right?
They make so much money
That's
because people are stupid. they
People
pay money
like-
to see it.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a big hater this
You're a
episode.
big hater today.
Yeah, I hate that.
And man, it just seems like The Rock is just like grasping at straws to make money, and I really don't like him.
Ever since his failed power grab of the DC universe.
The power hierarchy of the Disney universe is about to change. He's gonna blow us all away with his live action Moana. Anyways, this week was a big week for trailers. We got like 6 trailers. It was crazy. I think I don't really have them in an order, but I think the first ones this week were maybe Blue Beetle was first.
Yeah,
I think
thereabouts.
Secret Invasion was first.
That was also early.
That was on a Sunday. So
okay, so whatever, it doesn't really matter.
It's okay.
So
we just go in the list order here.
Blue Beetle. Fuck you! I'm starting wherever I want. Blue Beetle is the latest DC film. It's it was supposed to be from the old canon, but I think they probably won't have an issue translating it to the new canon. I don't think it's gonna have any cameos.
Yeah, it looks pretty self-contained.
It's a Latino-led project. The character is Latino. I think he's Mexican, but I'm not sure. What did you guys think about that trailer?
I think I don't know. I don't want to come in with like overwhelmingly negative energy, but I was like, this looks kind of cool, and I liked this character. I watched Young Justice. I used to watch that show, and I liked the character in that. But this kind of looks like a CW show, man. Like,
actually, my initial comment, I didn't tweet this, but my initial comment was, this looks like it has Ms. Marvel energy.
Yeah.
Like the back half of the episodes that weren't good.
Yeah.
not really either. Neither of those things are really good compliments.
Yeah, so I'm not excited.
Fair enough. I do think that like the trailer turns around enough that I was like, oh, some of these ideas seem intriguing. There's like, I think there's like enough for me that I'm like, this looks like, for example, better than Shazam,
Oh
or
yeah.
you know, like I don't know. I think maybe there's something there, but the way I described it to Peter was, I think this will be about the same quality as like a good Disney Channel movie. Like I
Okay.
don't think it's not going to exceed
Yeah,
expectations by any standard.
Sure.
yeah. I just feel really bad for it because I know a lot of people were hoping a Blue Beetle movie would happen for a long time, and now they're finally doing the movie. The movie might not be the best when it comes to quality or production value. Like the final sequence where he was messing around with the suit was really cool, in my opinion. Like where he pulled
I
out
like
like
the
the
sword
huge
stuff.
sword and stuff. Like that was really cool. But that's like cool anywhere. But and also, judging from the trailer, the plot of this movie is gonna be the most predictable
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
Ms. Marvel. It's gonna be Ms.
yeah,
Marvel energy, really.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Like I think there were parts of the trailer where I was like, "Oh, that seems fun." Like when he's transforming and his family's all there, I was like, "Oh, that's weird." Like usually the family doesn't know. It's
Sure.
like a secret for like a
Oh
really
yeah,
long
that's true.
time.
That's a really good
And
point. Yeah.
instead it's like an exorcist moment and they're all like, "Ah!" like freaking out. I thought that was
Yeah.
fun. It was charming.
Yeah.
Anyway, shortly thereafter we got another superhero trailer for Secret Invasion. We had just talked about it the day
Yeah.
before on the pod because they had released some stills, and now we've got a full trailer, first full trailer. I'm so excited for this show. I know Aidan's a
No, I
skeptic.
actually think the trailer looks
You think,
cool.
okay,
This one actually,
I'm very excited.
I was
Why
enticed
is
by the
not
trailer.
hating today. The
Yeah,
one
that's the little bit. That's the morsel of positivity you get.
Yeah, Peter, what did you think about this trailer?
So I don't know if you guys remember. There's a scene where Talos confronts like a squirrel, and like everyone
You
around
already
him.
lost me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Who is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ben Mendelsohn
Okay.
confronts. Is it Regé Jean Page? The
Wait, he was in
that
the
guy?
show. That's him.
Oh,
I
is
don't
it
think
him or is
that's
it the
him.
other guy? Is
I
it
don't think that's
Kingsley?
him.
Maybe it's
Um,
King, the son of other
Bridgerton.
guy. Let me
Well,
check.
when while Alex is checking, when they were,
Okay, I was wrong. It's Kingsley Benadir. That's my bad.
okay.
Oh,
So
I'm
when they were
right.
confronting each other, I purposely paused the frame to watch the background characters transform into the Kingsley guy, and that was a sick sequence. Like that was actually well done, not really cringe, and done very well. The only thing that Alex and I were discussing is I just hope they give a very good reason, and Alex had a very good reason for why the Avengers are not involved in this. And Alex told me that because they can transform into anybody, you can't trust literally anyone, which I thought was
Yeah.
great.
I
As long as
also
we get that out of the way, I think the show is self-contained and grounded enough, and with such a stacked cast that as long as the writing is good, can't go wrong. But
also very excited to see Everett K. Ross appearing again.
Yeah.
My favorite character.
Wait, who
Peter was
is
like,
that?
bro. It was the Black Panther white guy,
Yeah,
Martin
Oh,
Short.
is Martin?
Martin Steve. Oh, fuck, which is which?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin and Martin Short. Both of
Yeah.
them are playing Everett K. Ross.
And it's neither of him. It's neither of them. Martin Freeman.
Martin
Freeman.
Freeman. Fuck, I was-
Yes.
Man, can't wait to see him come back. Do you think Elaine from Seinfeld is in this?
Oh, I hope so. I pray. Yeah.
There's like a really good chance, unfortunately.
And I still am hoping that she is Elaine. That like it's not just
She's just
Julia
Elaine.
Louis-Dreyfus playing another character. It's
She
Elaine.
stopped being a goofy little guy and just became a
joined the
CIA. That tracks. That
She
sounds
broke
like
up with Putty and joined the CIA or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that this series will be focusing on kind of like regular people is really exciting to me. And I love espionage thrillers, so like this seems right up my alley.
Yeah.
And it seems like we actually are going to get the Super Skrulls, which are the Skrulls that have been genetically modified to have the powers of superheroes. Because most Skrulls don't. Most Skrulls can just shapeshift, and so there's some that are like display stretchy powers. So
Sure.
I think I'm glad that they're not holding back, I guess. You know,
Wait, so
like
they're going to
lower
be
budget could have
physically
been.
challenged and mentally challenged at the same time.
Yep.
Okay, that
Sure.
joke didn't work. That
Don't know
joke
what
did
you're
not
talking
work.
about.
Well, I'm just saying,
Was it
like,
a joke?
mentally challenged because, who is real, who is fake, and physically
Right.
challenged, they're super squirrels. But
It's not a joke, but okay. One thing I did notice, Nick Fury has like a new grave, which is weird.
Oh yeah.
Do you
Oh,
guys
is that
remember?
not the same one?
It's
in
not
Winter
the same
Soldier?
grave.
What
Like
do I
not even
do?
close.
Really?
Yeah, like it's in like a pine forest, like coniferous
Maybe he got blown up.
trees. I don't know, maybe. It was weird. He's in like a completely different place.
I thought it's
Um,
like a Winter Soldier callback. Okay, never mind.
It's supposed to be, but they did not use the same cemetery. Anyways, that's a small nitpick. I'm very excited for that series. I don't remember what came next.
But if we want to move on to
Spider-Verse.
series, okay, I was gonna say, speaking of Disney Plus series, but
Oh, sure.
one that I'm
Ahsoka?
not excited for.
Sure, let's do that. Okay,
is
so
the
it's
Ahsoka show that's coming
it's
out.
it's Star Wars Celebration this weekend, and so we're getting a bunch of Star Wars news. And yes, Ahsoka is getting her own TV show. We knew about this for a while, but we got
Yeah.
the first trailer. It looks terrible.
Looks very
I
bad.
can't lie. I don't.
And I really like the Clone Wars series, and I really like the character of Ahsoka, but I think this show is gonna be shite. Like
It's
I
gonna be
get this.
so bad.
It's gonna be really bad.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys seen Rebels, but like
No.
a huge point of the show is to bring back the Rebels character in their live action form, and at least like from what I can see, the reconstruction of Lothar in live action looks great. The Loth cats somehow are not cringe, which is also a plus. And then lastly, Thrawn is in the show, so and it's actually getting played and voiced by the same guy that voiced him in Rebels, which I thought did a fantastic job. It's Lars Mikkelsen. It's Mads Mikkelsen's brother,
Oh really?
and he just has the voice nailed
We have
down.
the same last
But
name, so yeah.
yeah, but I'm very intrigued though, because in an era where this sort of stoic, the more sort of calm, collected, like more thinking type of villain is sort of a trendy thing nowadays. Like we see Giancarlo Esposito playing like so many versions of that across so many different universes. I wonder how Thrawn is gonna like work in a universe, in a time like this where the villain such as Thrawn is now more common. So
I bet there's, you know what? I bet there's going to be a scene where there's like a child that is surprisingly introduced in the show. Like in the first episode, there's going to be a child.
and Ahsoka as the escort.
And then Thrawn is going to be like chasing after the
Oh
child in a
my
forest, and
God.
he's going to be stopped by
Yeah.
tree branches.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
My god, dude.
That's
Dude, like
what
I
this-
don't know
that's
how
what
they
they-
managed to make all of this shit looks like fan films all the time,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
constantly.
Like that's the energy I'm getting from this trailer. It's giving Obi-Wan energy, Boba Fett
Yeah.
energy.
I
So
I really hope
Mando
not.
season
Bad,
3.
dude.
Because the cast of characters is actually great, and from what we've seen in the trailer, there's actually like a lot of interesting lightsaber characters. Like the
Interesting
costuming,
lightsaber character.
the
Sure, but,
costuming
like,
of the red. I don't think they're Sith, to be honest. But like the costume of them and their blades all look very unique, which I'm
The
pretty excited.
Inquisitors.
And I don't think they're Inquisitors. There was like a scene similar
it's too
to
late,
the,
I think.
yeah.
It's too
Oh yeah,
far.
when does the series take place? It's still
think it's
before New
Mando.
Hope, right?
It's Mando timeline.
Yeah, it's Mando time, so it's post Empire.
Oh, okay.
And there's this I'll just call bad Force user doing like a Vader-esque scene in one of the Rebel ships, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, why you're doing the Rogue One scene?
Yeah, right. It's
Why?
very the Rogue One scene.
Because they're like, hey, remember this?
Yeah.
Remember this?
You liked it. Here's more.
It's all media is these days.
But well, I hope it's good. Like it's coming out really soon, and
Peter, I swear to you, this will be like the newest worst thing you've ever seen.
dude, you've
not
been
going
wrong
to be good.
before. You told me to be hype about Mario.
That's true. I was wrong 1 week ago,
Yeah.
so I have a great track record.
Great track record.
But
Okay, but anyways,
there's
let's
no
move
way
on.
it's gonna be good. I also think just like you said, like it's so great to see the Rebels characters in live action. Why?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what I mean. I would prefer an animated Ahsoka
just
show. That would be so
let
much better.
them like if they're created for animation, like it feels like you're not respecting the animation genre,
Mm.
where you're like, oh, it's only valid if it's been translated to live action. It's like, no,
Well, I'm very
just leave
happy
it
to
where
see.
it's
I'm very happy to
good.
see Thrawn, at least. Like,
Sure, whatever.
like
I've heard
I think.
Thrawn is cool, so like I'll see it, but I don't think it'll be a good show. Anyways, let's move on. More not Star Wars. Lucasfilm. We got the new final trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I also am getting a feeling that this will not be good.
Yeah, I was
I'm
skeptical
very
of this from the
skeptical.
beginning, and I'm still
Yeah.
like, I don't
After
know.
you know what? After Mario, I'm more hedging my bets on negative things
Yeah.
now. Like I'm like, this is more likely to be bad than it is to be good. So I just feel like actually I saw a really good analysis where this is the first Indiana Jones movie that's created by someone who wasn't part of the original thing.
Right.
So instead of being the
Spielberg.
latest from the Spielberg mind of Spielberg, this is someone who's reflecting off of those things. And
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be like a Force Awakens, basically.
Mhm.
And we remember how much we love that movie. So
I like that movie, but yeah.
I didn't like
it's
it.
one of my favorites of the sequel series, but it's not that good. Like I think
No, I would never go to bat for it too hard, but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
So like I just get the feeling watching this trailer that it's not going to be great. Also, is there time travel in this movie?
Yeah, I saw you tweet that, but I
Seems like
don't
it, yeah.
know what you're referring to in the trailer.
The Dial of Destiny, they're like, I'm gonna like change history and like make Hitler win or something. I was like
Oh,
the way
wait,
they talk
what?
about it sounds like they never explicitly say I'm going back in time to change the course of history, but
Right.
they say things that are like a little too close to that I was like, are we doing time travel? Like seems like that might be the case, and I think that's very weird, but I mean, this is not the first time Indiana Jones has had mysticism in it.
That is true.
Even from the first one, there's crazy, unexplainable things happening. So it's part of the lore, honestly, for there to be some unexplainable magic kind of thing. So I guess time travel it is.
Yep.
Anyways, what did you guys think about Indiana Jones?
I already said I don't think it looks good.
Peter?
Honestly, I was more excited when the first trailer came out.
Yeah, I've lost excitement.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have a trailer for
Great segment.
Spider-Verse into the Spider. What's it called?
Wait, Spider-Verse into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah,
Spider
I think
Time
it's
into the Spider Guys.
I think it's Spider-Man across the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
yeah.
I think this is the first full trailer.
Yeah.
The first thing we saw was a teaser. This looks good.
Yeah, I'm
I think
actually
this
excited
looks-
for this.
I don't know if you saw, but they recreated the Spider-Man meme.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can
to
we
be
drop
fair
that?
though,
Can we
I
drop
act-
that?
I agree. Can we drop it? But I actually think the specific detail of zooming out into an extreme wide and everyone's like you. Like I think they're at least escalating it to a somewhat more funny place.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Well, I think the other thing is there are only so few opportunities where you can actually do a Spider-Man meme on film. I don't think did they do it for No Way Home?
Just because you have the opportunity to do it doesn't mean you should. It's cringy.
I think it's still funny. Like
they did it in the first Spider-Verse. They did it in No Way Home.
And did they do
they sorted? They sorted.
They did it. No, they did it a little bit. There's a.
Oh, it's like if my mask is your mask. When
no, there's a shot where they're literally like they're all pointing at each other, and that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't find it funny. I think it might have found it funny in 2018, but that meme is so old that I'm like, I'm over it. It's that idea like trying to connect to meme culture that never works.
Yeah.
Dude, I think they can never top what they did as the post credit for the original Into the Spider-Verse film though. That was so funny.
I think that worked. That worked for me. It was, but I think what was funny about it was the incongruity of Miguel O'Hara, Oscar Isaac's character being like so angry, but also just no, you're me. Like, like he was committing to it, and this just feels too referential and like, hey, we should do that in the last movie.
Yeah,
but
I'm still a fan. So
the rest of the trailer looks good. I think it's people have been theorizing, and it does seem to be like the idea that all these Spider-Man, like the connection they have is that they've experienced tragedy, and I think the idea is that um, Miles hasn't. You know, he has both his parents and he's dating Spider Gwen.
Well, I
So
mean, his
people have been.
uncle is dead, right?
Oh, did he
Yeah.
die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so but Peter Parker never has parents, so that is still. Anyways,
Sure.
so there's a theory that it'll be something about that, or like there's some like idea of like what Spider-Man has to be,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like, you're not a proper Spider-Man unless you blank, which is a continuation off of the themes of the first movie, and I think that's
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah, I think that's a
I-
really good escalation. Yeah.
it'd be really exciting. And then, I mean, guys, the most exciting trailer we got
Hell
all
yeah.
week. We got the first full trailer for Barbie, and this is like probably my most anticipated movie of the year. No cap.
Yeah.
This looks so fun. You guys don't have to agree with me, but like
No,
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I thought Peter was gonna say something. Yeah, no, I'm excited for it too. I don't think I am not as like head over heels going crazy for it, but I'll be there. I'll be there when it comes
You'll
to
be
theaters.
there.
I'll be there.
Is it? Are you an Oppenheimer guy or a Barbie guy? Which one are you
I
doing
think I'm more
first?
excited for Barbie. But yeah.
There
I'm
it
I'm
is.
I'm very
There it
hyped for the
is.
double feature. I'm doing the double
Yeah,
feature, you know.
Me too. There's so many great things about the trailer. Like I love the shot everyone's talking about where she's got the slippers on and then
Yeah.
or the slippers, the high heels, and she takes it off and she's still got the Barbie heel thing. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
Ryan Gosling as Ken is like unhinged a little
Yeah.
bit, like a little bit scary. I think it's fantastic. I just and like the dialogue as if it's written by a kid is really smart.
Yeah.
Like we're boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah.
Can I stay over? Why? Honestly, I'm not really sure. Like it's so funny to me. And it seems like it's going to be one of those ones where like they go to the real world and
Yeah.
you know, I think the plot will not necessarily be predictable. I think it'll be something you've seen before, but
Yeah.
I
I
think
hope
they
they
will
do
have
something
I think they'll have
interesting
fun
it.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it'll be like more of not a maybe not a satire, but like you know, like they know what they're doing and like
Yeah.
you've seen this before and they play off of that idea. So I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this will be a great movie. Peter seems less excited.
Yo, it's Greta Gerwig. She hasn't
She's
missed
great.
yet.
Yeah.
She hasn't missed yet, so I don't think she's gonna miss with this one. But honestly, like, I don't think trailer-wise though, this is not the best Barbie trailer. The first Barbie trailer is just too good.
Okay. The teaser. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
are you talking
really
about like I thought you were talking about trailers for like other Barbie movies, like the
Oh,
actual
no.
Barbie movies.
I genuinely think that Barbie trailer is just too good. Like
It was a strong teaser.
it's
sure.
a very strong teaser, and then it did what a teaser trailer is supposed to do, right? It showed you very little, but got you very excited for the film.
Yeah.
So I really like that first teaser. I think this one is just a lot of silly and goofiness.
It's a lot of silly and goofy.
Which is what the movie is supposed to be, but you know, just
Fair
love
enough.
the first trailer too much.
I just like to remind everyone as well that this is co-written by Noah Baumbach, and I find that fact so funny.
Yeah.
You know, I
anyways.
think they're dating or they're engaged.
They're married.
Yeah.
And that has been the case for a long time.
Yeah. Anyways, Aidan, we did a movie. Are you ready to read off some names?
We sure did do a movie. We watched a movie called Mario. It was directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelinek. It was written by Matthew Fogel, and it stars Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, Seth Rogen, Fred Armisen. Who is he?
He's Cranky Kong, which is, by the
Oh.
way, an insane name. I it must be the lore, because like, what
That is
what
what
a
he's called, I'm pretty
silly
sure.
name, Cranky Kong.
Yeah.
Is that that's King Kong? That's Donkey Kong's dad, right?
Why wouldn't you call him King Kong? Like, for example, why is his name Cranky? Like,
That's so
I find that
funny.
so silly.
But
Anyways,
anyway, the
continue.
runtime is an hour 32, and the budget is 100 million.
Where'd that go? Just kidding.
Nice.
Before we get into the movie, we have a game we play every week. It's called Predacritic. Basically, on the internet, you can find this little website called the Metacritic, and they have an average score from critics only of a movie, and it's out of 100. If it's 60 or above, it's like green. If it's 80 or above, it's must see. If it's like 60 to like 45, maybe it's yellow. And if it's below that, it's red. We don't really know how this works. And we are going to guess where the Super Mario Bros. Movie lands in that metric.
Damn.
And first up for the guess is Peter. Where do you
Ooh.
think Mario lands?
I'm gonna go with a Rotten Tomato score. I think it's around a 40 for Rotten Tomato. So I'm gonna say 42.
42.
Okay.
Next is myself.
Yeah, let's go.
I know it's pretty low. Like I saw, yeah.
Make a guess. Make a guess.
I'm gonna go with 45.
Okay, 42 and 45.
Ooh, very
I'm
high.
very glad you guys went first because I honestly had no benchmark, and I'm really clouded by my own hatred of this movie.
Dude, just give it a 0, man. It's okay.
I'm gonna give this. You said 42 and 45.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 43.
Well, that was a poor choice because it looks like I win. It
Yeah.
got a 47 on Metacritic.
Okay.
Oof. Honestly, that might be a bit high for this
I
movie.
think that's too high. That's too high. Yeah.
It's not that good. So as the winner, I think that means I get to go first. So this movie was not enjoyable, like almost at all. There's a long span of time where they're trying to be funny and tell jokes, and it's one of those movies where I was staring at it straight faced, being like, "That's literally not funny. Like, try again." There's like I didn't get no value out of it. There were certain times I laughed, but a lot of the time it was more like I was watching this with a friend of the show, Sasha, and a lot of the times, like my laughter was derived from me going like turning to him and being like, "This is not funny," and then us laughing at that instead of the movie. Let's see, the plot is almost completely nonsensical. Like things just happen because they need to. There's like no character development. This is just a really dumb movie. What else can I say? It's basically a commercial for Nintendo products, and I find that offensive. And yeah, it just sucked. It was it was just a shitty time. And I've seen bad movies that are better than this, so it's bad. I gave it I've lowered my star rating from what I initially gave it to. I've given it a 1.5 stars now, and I think that that feels better. It's between that and a 2, and I'd say don't go see this movie. This is not good at all. So Aidan is the second closest guesser. What did you think of this movie?
This was a vacuous husk of a movie. This was a shadow of a movie. This it vaguely resembles a movie, but was not. And you recognize different elements where you're like, oh, okay, that's what happens in movies. But unfortunately, this does not cross the line of being anything. This is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. I'm being serious. Like, we have our new thing we always ask is, what's your favorite part? I don't have one. I don't think I liked anything. I don't think I liked anything I saw. This is, and I don't give a fuck that it's a kids movie because I watched The Incredibles the day before. That's a great movie. That's a great movie. But yeah, everything you said is true. The jokes aren't funny. There's no plot. Things just come and go. Problems are solved really easily. There was no thought put into this. This is made by people who fundamentally don't respect kids and think kids are fucking idiots who don't need anything. And they don't care about making anything that will leave a lasting impression. I hate this. This is soulless garbage. I gave it 1 star. I'd give it less. Don't watch it.
Thank you. Awesome. Peter, what did you think about this movie?
So, okay, before I go into my impression, I just want to give a big disclaimer. I've barely played the Mario games, and I'm not deep in the Mario lore. So, just want to put that out there before I go into the review. Yeah. So, these guys, Alex and Aidan, hyped this movie up so much. It's like, yo,
No,
we have-
I did not say it was gonna be good.
yo,
How
you guys
could I
were hyping
know?
it up last week. You
I
guys were
thought it would
hyping
be
it up
fun.
last
I was
week,
wrong.
okay?
I will admit I was wrong.
So
Okay,
I was like, okay, you know, it's like these people, you know, they're film students. They know what they're doing. They think this is good. It's probably gonna be good.
Okay. To be fair, we're talking about a movie we haven't seen.
I
and
know,
we're
I know.
Guessing.
I'm joking.
No one really knew.
So
Putting that
so-
out there.
So I think it's like, as a lot of video game movies are being made nowadays, there are two ways to make them, right? Like one is to do like
Good or bad. Those
one
are your
is
two
to
options.
one is to derive from the source material and sort of evolve the medium as a movie instead of just like sticking with the source material. The other one is to really just think, what do fans want from this movie, and then give fans everything that they wanted. So I like to compare this movie with Avengers Endgame, because I think Endgame has a lot of fan service moments, but Endgame also at the same time has a very strong central plot and with character development. So the movie is not centered around paying off things or doing fan service because we need to do it because it's the last Avengers film in the first 10-year era. But this movie is like the complete opposite. This movie doesn't have this sort of central plot to pull everything together. Instead, focuses on delivering as many Easter eggs and references as possible. So if, as a Mario fan, you want to go in just to see these things on the screen, and with really, I think like the animation quality of the movie is really high. Like I think it's very well done. If you just want to see that on a big screen, then I say absolutely go see it. This movie is everything you ever wanted. But if you want to have an enjoyable theater experience at the same time, then this movie is not for you. Because this movie, like Aidan and Alex said, is very much just a brand commercial almost. It's like purely banking on nostalgia and the brand power that the Mario games have done to sort of, because it already has a mass market. It's just capitalizing off that. So I give it a 3 out of 5. I still had a good time. Like I think it's a really funny and fun movie here and there. It had its moments, but like it's, you know, like objectively not a great movie. So
There were moments where I was like rolling my eyes, which is the mark of a bad movie. I was doing that for. This is not the only time I've done that this year though. Like that was Creed 3, Ant-Man 3,
Sure.
Cocaine Bear. Like it's
There were-
it's on par. It's on par for like some of
honestly,
the worst
I liked
stuff.
it more than Ant-Man. I gotta say, I think
I like Ant-Man more than this.
I think
I
Ant-Man,
know.
I was just like, there's nothing new. Like I'm just like seeing the same old shit over and over again. I keep thinking it's gonna get good, but then this movie, I sort of just went in with the expectation that, you know, it's. I mean, the Rotten Tomato score is there.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, hey, like, you know, here and there. I was sort of, for Ant-Man, I was more like wanting to see good moments, but then this one is like, I know it's bad. It's just like, hey, like I came in with the expectation, no, it's bad. So I guess I mean it's that as well.
I think
Maybe it doesn't deserve a 3, but oh well, that's
no,
like
doesn't
first
at all.
impression.
I think the one thing Mario has a leg up on is it's visually appealing to look at.
Yeah,
compared
absolutely. I think the animation quality is really good.
I
I-
disagree that it's
I don't
very
know
good.
about really good.
I think it's like, again, like its lowest common denominator, the same style Illumination always does. Stupid fucking like it looks fine. It's not Ant-Man in that it doesn't like hurt to watch.
Yeah.
Ant-Man was
Yeah.
like painful to watch.
Yeah.
It looks fine. But like there's nothing creative. It's just like it's the most boring nothing animation.
Wait,
Mm.
before we go into like the spoiler stuff, did you like Despicable Me?
When I first saw it, I haven't
I
seen
like
it.
Despicable Me. I
Okay.
think Steve Carell's fine.
Because like I don't agree. I think Illumination's style is fine. Like I really like Despicable Me 1 and 2. That might be a third one. And then the Minions movie
There's
was
a
just
third
like, you know, it's like it's okay, but like the
It's-
visual style has never been the problem for me about
No,
these
what we're
movies.
saying is that like when you talk about animation, it's one of those things where like you have so much room to be creative and do fun
Yeah.
things, and when you just choose to put out the same looking movie every single time, it's like, well, that's the most boring thing you could have done, right?
Yeah.
So all Illumination films look the same. If you put them together, you'd be like, you could have a lineup, like a police lineup of Illumination films, Disney films, and like you
Yeah.
could tell them apart because Disney films all look the same now. Think Tangled, Frozen, Moana. They all look the same. Illumination films all look the same. There's very few studios who are putting out movies that look visually distinct, and those are the ones you would say, oh, the animation is really good. They're doing something
Yeah.
interesting. So like Spider-Verse, for example. Whereas this is just kind of like, you did it. You made a film that I don't want to gouge my eyes out looking at, but it's not advancing the medium in any way. It's
It's
just
also just in terms of the visual language this employs. This is the kind of thing I felt like I was a kid again watching this movie because I was like, all of this, everything that I'm seeing was in kids' movies when I was a kid. And what the fuck is the point of doing this? Like all of the camera movements, every cutaway gag, every visual gag is the exact same thing that was in movies when I was like 10 years old. So why are we still doing this? Why are you animating? Like do you
yeah.
care? Do you care about what
They
you're
don't.
doing? Like,
It's the most formulaic bullshit. Anyways, we have a spoiler warning. Let's just, Peter, you lost, so you have to do the synopsis.
Dude, it's so easy, man.
It's
So
just so easy.
This is
It's
so easy. Give it to me.
Okay.
Give it to me. Let's get it.
Give it to me. Okay. 2 seconds. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Mario and Luigi, they're plumbers living in the NYC. They're sort of like disappointed.
Brooklyn. It's so
Brooklyn,
easy.
sure. They're sort of disappointments to their parents, and then they also have
Aren't
this
we
sort of like
all?
plumber bully that is like looking down on them. So the movie starts with them taking on their first job that they fail miserably because a dog got in the way, and then the dog was angry at them. So it broke basically this entire penthouse,
Yeah.
and then they're all down, very sad, and then they're like, oh, it's the NYC is getting flooded. They're like, oh, we can help. So they went help. So they went down to sewers trying to help, but then they got further down to sewers and then entered this mysterious pipe where they got transported into the Mario world. And Luigi got captured. Mario got sent into the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario met up with Peach, and then they're like, "Oh, Bowser's invading everybody. We need to get help from the Kong army." So they went to the Monkey Kingdom. Donkey Kong and Mario
Monkey.
fought, and then Mario won. And then there's this huge Mario Kart sequence. Mario and Donkey Kong sort of like went away for a bit while Bowser, what did Bowser do? Bowser tried to marry Peach. The wedding didn't go as planned because Peach sort of used the frozen magic stuff to freeze everything. There was there's a huge battle on Bowser's ship, and then everyone got sucked into the pipe and transported into New York, and then they battle Brooklyn, and then Mario picks up the star with Luigi, the superstar, and gains superpower, and then defeats everybody. End of the movie.
And then they live in the Mushroom Kingdom. Hooray.
Oh, yeah. And they live in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Good
and Bowser
job.
got defeated. Yes.
I could not give a shit if you did that right or not.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I was scoffing as you were doing it just because you reminded me of things I hated. You said, like when you brought up the plumbing bully again, I was like, oh my fucking god.
Anyways, we're gonna start with our favorite part. I have one. I actually do. This movie wasn't
like. Are you stealing my favorite part?
If we have the same favorite part, who the fuck cares?
Okay.
Just like, my favorite part was when Bowser starts singing songs.
Bro, you took my favorite part.
It's the only like mildly amusing bit. Have I seen it before? Absolutely, I have. But there's something nice about Jack Black singing "Peaches, Peaches, 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 Peaches." That like the absurdity of it. I found it funny.
It was a good song. Like that was not bad.
But I just found there's some moments in this movie where I was like, this is so stupid that I find that funny, you know? So I did find that funny, and also the fact that Sasha was like howling was really funny. Like he really found that funny, and so that
Yeah.
was made it funnier for me. Um, great moment, and not many others. Peter, you seem to like this moment as well.
Yeah, you stole my favorite part. I really like that one, and I
That's
thought
all
like
right.
the song is actually really good. Like, trying to think of another part that I like.
Great.
It's difficult with this film
I
because
have one
I
little
did,
moment where I chuckled a bit, and
Yeah,
that
let's
is
hear.
when they have the carts and they're about to go karting, and Peach and Mario pull up, and
Yeah,
then
oh,
Toad pulls up and his car is big, and I
yeah.
was like, I
That's pretty
genuinely
funny.
I thought it was gonna be, I didn't know that was gonna be the reveal. Okay, and I chuckled a little bit.
I went for the reverse. I leaned over to Sasha and I said, "Oh, it's gonna be really tiny. It's gonna
That's
be
what I
like a
thought too.
radio."
I thought it was gonna be tiny. So when it was big, I was like, okay,
Oh,
you got me there. Like,
okay, that's pretty funny. Sure. Peter, did you think of a favorite part?
oh, okay. This might be a little bit sarcastic, but I thought this was really funny. Um, so you know how like when Bowser's invading the Mushroom Kingdom and they're evacuating everybody,
Yes.
and uh, and then they went into the castle and they were like, "Oh, Bowser's coming! Evacuate everyone!" And then all the guards left as well, and then we just see like empty like weapons being thrown on the ground and like armor and shit. It's like, aren't you guys supposed to protect the princess?
Mm.
And then it's just Toad and Princess Peach against Bowser's entire army.
That was
Yeah,
your
that does.
favorite part?
No, I
That was
thought that was funny. That was funny.
okay. Sure,
Like,
that's a
why did they
very
run away?
strange
Yeah.
because they were told to. They were evacuating. That's not a okay. Interesting choice.
Because
What
it
was it?
took mine, bro. I really like Bowser saying. That was
I
really
didn't
funny.
like Bowser singing, for the record. Like, I'm just, that wasn't the worst part. I wasn't, if that, like, hey, that's fine. No problem with that. If someone wanted to put that in the movie, that's cool. I don't care. I didn't care for it.
He
Okay,
didn't
Say
care
then.
that.
for it.
You didn't
That's
care
okay.
for it. Yeah.
I I can see where you're coming from because it did feel a little forced and like aren't we
Yeah.
being so clever? But I have seen it before.
Yeah.
Like immediately I think of Frozen 2. I don't know if there's another example of this. I regret having seen Frozen 2. That was a very bad movie as well. But there's a scene where Kristoff starts doing like an 80s ballad and I'm like this is
Yeah.
note for note the same thing. I've seen
Yeah.
this before.
Oh yeah, it's to ask Anna out. No. Anna was mad at him, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Sven
yeah,
is in it a lot.
yeah.
They're not really as funny as they think they are, those bits, but
Yeah. I never think those are funny, like, at all. It's also,
yeah.
like, again, like, movies when I was a kid did that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, like that's such a recognizable thing. It's like, this movie feels like it was plucked straight out of like 2008 to me. Like this feels like a
Yeah.
2008 animated movie.
It doesn't feel
I
new at all. I agree.
yeah,
Anyways, we got some discussion points. So
sure
first
do.
up, they did the thing.
They
They
did the
did
thing
the
we were
thing that
joking about.
we knew they would do it. Do you want to reenact it for us, Aiden?
So movie opens on a commercial that we see, and it's Mario and Luigi, and they're like saying, "Wahoo! We saw the Mario Brothers." I don't know why I'm Jar Jar Binks.
What?
We
He's
saw
Jar Jar
Mario
Binks.
Brothers.
Jar Jar. Yeah.
But like it starts off with this like with wacky Italian accent and then cuts away from the commercial. They're like, "Hey, yo, I'm Mario, I'm Luigi." And then like, "Do you think the accent was a little much?" And they're like, "No, we're the Mario Brothers."
And then everyone's like, "Oh, why'd you do that stupid voice, Mario? You don't sound like that." And like they drag that joke out for
Yeah.
so long. Like it's not one thing. Like everybody has to make a comment on it. It's so bad.
And they're
I
like,
also hated that.
no, I hate it so much. It speaks like again like an inability to just like commit to what you're making and genuinely like have
Yeah.
fun with it instead of just like regressing to the most bare bones, simple, horrible like retread that you already made. Like it was literally it was that moment where I was like, oh god, no. This is gonna be like really bad, isn't it?
That's literally like the
What?
open. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's the
opening of the
idea.
movie was really good. I thought
They
Bowser
really I
invading
saw
the
that
Penguin
already.
Kingdom,
Yeah.
but anyways, but I thought like okay, since we're bringing this up, what do you guys think about like them not doing the accent for the entirety of the film.
We knew that wasn't going to be a thing, but also
Like,
part
how
of
does that
me,
work in
yeah,
practice?
part of me has like a feeling that if the whole movie was the Charles Martinet classic voice, that I would be like putting things in my ears to stop hearing because I think it would get annoying. I don't know.
Okay,
Like
but
I don't like Chris Pratt by any measure, but I don't know if I could stand listening to the Wahoo voice
sure, but
for
my
2 hours.
proposal, why, you know how like in Zelda Link doesn't talk? My
Just
honest
make
my
Mario
honest
shut the
opinion is like
fuck up.
they should have made a movie where all he really says is like "Let's go," ah! And like he just makes noises. He should just be a soundboard. I honestly think that would be better.
I
If he
don't
like
know if I agree with
that would be
that.
so much better, and you just boil him down to like a really basic thing because they didn't give him a character anyway, so why not?
I don't know about silent, but
I don't want him to say shit. I don't care. Like that was something
that's
I
because we
realized.
just hated the movie.
But no, I honestly realized I was like, there's really no version where I just like Mario as a guy. Like I just don't think that's gonna happen. And I think the most likable Mario is when he's just like this silent, funny little guy that you don't really know, and he's just running around doing stuff.
Oh wow!
That's
What
the
did
best
Mario
version.
ever do to you, Aidan? You sound
No,
like
I think that
traumatized.
like,
Okay, so if you were making a Mario movie, who would be the main character of your version? I'm
Mario.
honestly curious. It would be Mario, but
He would
he's
be
just like
silent though. He would be silent and
a
like
silent film, like a silent Mario film with intertitles.
no, other people would talk, but Mario would not talk.
I think imagine if like Lord and Miller had done this. Like they had done the Lego movie and then they did this.
Yeah,
We could have had a good Mario movie. I think there's a realm where that happened. You
sure.
know, like there's a multiverse.
Maybe.
So they do the thing, and then Mario beats up a dog. I mean, the dog had it out for him. I will concede, but that was a very strange sequence to put in a kids film where like the cutest looking dog, like it's an animated dog, so it looks cute. It's not like a vicious thing.
Yeah.
It's like a golden retriever. And then they're just like beating it up. Like they're not like punching it, but it's getting close to like kicking a dog.
Yeah, it's also
Not a
just
good
a stupid
sequence.
fucking scene that doesn't need to happen because it doesn't mean anything. It's so there are multiple reasons. Like, not only does nothing happen in this scene, nothing is established. We don't learn anything. This scene could be cut and it would be completely fine. It also goes against the entire fucking point of this movie. The entire like movies where character goes from the normal world into the magical world where everything's magical, the whole point is that the normal world is normal and the magical world is magical. So why the fuck would there be like a sentient dog that has like a prolonged action sequence in the normal world? This also I don't okay, this is like the next point. I don't give a fuck about Brooklyn. I don't want to be in Brooklyn. When this movie opened and we were in New York and they were in the real world, I was like, why? Why do this? Set the entire thing in Mushroom Land. I was sitting in my seat, like literally, I thought to myself, I was like, just go into Mushroom Land. Just go there. Just go. Come on. This scene like prolongs that, the very thing you want. It's also stupid because this paired with like the parkour scene where Mario is parkouring through New York.
Yeah.
Why? Hey man, and then he gets into the Mushroom Kingdom and he's like, I'm an idiot and I don't know how to do
I
anything.
don't know how to do parkour.
What are you talking about? We just saw that you can do this. We just saw it. We just saw it. Like, what are you talking about? Holy shit! If you're
when I saw that sequence in theater, I was like, "Yo, they're like doing the Mario jumping game stuff. But it's like in the real world.
Hey man,
so they're gonna translate that when he gets to the magical world, and they didn't do it. That's so right.
Yeah, it's like hey, what if you
it.
did that in the magic world, in Mushroom World? You know, like where it is. Like, what if you did that instead?
Like the one thing that I also don't understand is, so they're bad at plumbing, but they're not.
No, they're not. No, Mario's very good at plumbing.
They're just victims of circumstance.
Yeah.
like there's just a dog that hates them. It doesn't. There's no character development. It's because Luigi's an unlucky fuck who stepped on a dog bone and then they just hate the dog hates them. Like it's so random. So
Mario at the beginning of this movie already possesses all of the skills he needs for the end of the movie. And like this, and it's like there's so many things that like in the end when they save Brooklyn, like both the dog and the pizza bully are like, "Oh, Mario and Luigi, you did it." I like that is a terrible message for children that like they didn't it's not like they needed to change anything. It's not like they needed to stand up to their bullies. They were doing that from the beginning. All they needed to do is prove themselves to the bullies and receive the external validation, and that solved everything for them.
Oh wow,
that solved
deep.
their internal problem.
That's deep.
It's a this is a toxic sludge movie.
You know what else is really funny though? Like Luigi is basically just like appears at the beginning and then gone for the majority of the movie.
It's so
dumb. And then they're like, okay, Luigi hasn't had any character development because we haven't given him any screen time, so he's gonna hold up a manhole cover to save Mario. Like,
and they
what
make
the
it,
fuck?
And they keep saying we're strong as long as we're together. That has never not been true. There has never been a time where you haven't been together. Even during the movie, you're like, they didn't need to learn that. They already thought that. They started the movie thinking that.
Like the message the movie thinks it's telling is that Mario and Luigi are like they're stronger together, and that's only based on the ending. Because of the rest of the movie, they're not together. There's no opportunity for them to have a falling out where they choose to not work together. Because also, Luigi is fucking replaced by Donkey Kong for no reason.
Also, Mario is great on his own. He like saves the world on his own.
He's completely competent. And just like they tell Luigi to fuck off, and so the heart of the movie is just like completely absent because it's so easy. It's the brother. It's the connection of the two brothers should be the movie, and they decide to make it Mario and Donkey Kong working out their differences. They have to introduce a new character. And create a reason for them to have any sort of connection, and it's because they're both disappointments to their fathers. Where the fuck did that come from? That's completely random.
And again, it plays into the bad message thing where neither of them need to like overcome like a malady, like a bad part of themselves. Like neither of them need to do that. They need to be exactly the same and just do something that impresses the people that don't treat them well enough that they switch. That's a terrible message. Yeah, that's a terrible message for children.
The message should be that like your dad was wrong, and you know, like, and not because you have to do these incredible raccoon suit things. Like,
raccoon suit.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Anyways, we got ahead of ourselves, but. That's so Mario beats up a dog and proves that he is a good plumber and does not need to learn anything about plumbing, but he has a bad luck apparently. Also, like you said, he's good at parkour, but then immediately forgets it when he enters the kingdom. Also, like clearly there should be something where his skills in the real world translate to the fictional world.
Yes.
Not once does Mario have to show any skill in plumbing in the Super Mario world. It never comes up.
The first 20 minutes of the movie are a straight up waste. There is nothing that is even remotely important to the movie that happens.
Like the final battle, like you'd think there would be a plumbing reference. There is not. There's no plumbing reference. And there's hardly even a connection to his parkour skills because literally he just uses the star. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is... Oh, okay, we're moving on. Why does Peach bring Mario? So Mario goes into the Mushroom Kingdom and... he finds Toad, and Toad says, you gotta find the princess. Fine, that's a thing. He runs into Princess Peach, like literally runs into her. And because of a combination of words he says, she decides that he needs to be trained and brought along. This person who, although he had parkour skills, now has zero parkour skills. So this is like a useless person who will like probably harm her mission and like bring her back, and she decides that she needs to waste her time. Literally, they spend an entire day training him,
Yeah.
and I'm just like there is no good reason he needs to be brought along.
Yeah, and that sorry, Peter. Just a quick thing. That results in them like showing up late to save the day, and like they have to take the shortcut back in the end because they wasted a day
Training this loser who
Yeah.
doesn't know what he's doing.
And I think this is like one of my major problem with the movie. So when they were talking, when they first bumped into each other, they're like, "Oh, why would I take you to this? Why would I take you, with me to the Kong Kingdom? Um, and it's like, oh, actually, like if you prove yourself in a training course, then I'll take you. But the thing is, he never even
He
proved
doesn't
himself.
prove himself.
He
It's
failed.
so
He
bad.
failed. And then she was like, yeah, you know what? It's okay. Everyone fails, it's not me though, because I did it on my first try. But I will still take you along anyways.
Yeah,
It's
Like,
like
out of-
you basically you set it up. It's like, okay, Mario has to overcome this obstacle to
Yep.
join her on her journey to the Kong Kingdom. How is he gonna overcome that? How is he gonna, get to the place where he can join Peach on this trip? He didn't do that, and Peach is like, yeah, it's okay, you can just join me anyways. Aidan, I think you brought up a really good
Yeah.
point. Like, this movie is afraid to resolving conflicts not in the same scene. Like, it sets up the conflict. Mario might not be able to join Princess Peach because if Mario doesn't have parkour abilities, then he can't join her.
Yeah.
But then it's like resolved basically in the same scene. It's like, oh, actually, you don't need parkour abilities. Princess Peach would take you along anyways.
This movie is unable to maintain and escalate a singular conflict.
Absolutely.
Throughout the entire movie, the overall conflicts and even just individual conflicts in the scene, the solution, the movie takes either one or two modes, which is character does something that doesn't matter because the solution isn't tied to that anyway. So this scene is an example of that, where he actually never needed to complete the course to get in. He just needed to say yes.
Yeah.
So we've literally rendered the first part of that sequence like pointless. Like they didn't need to
absolutely.
happen for any reason.
Agreed.
That also happens when he's fighting Donkey Kong, where it's like he's just doing the different power-ups, and the only point is to show the power-ups, and then he just wins. And so he couldn't win until he got the specific power-up, so the rest of the scene didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. And like he didn't need to learn a new skill, he just needed to get a new power-up. And then overall, like this movie is like I don't understand where it has this weird thing where Bowser should be seeking them down. He should be hunting them down and providing obstacles like right off the bat. And it's instead of
singing songs.
like you should. This is like it's like split off between three different scenes where realizes Mario is there, realizes he's with Peach, realizes Peach might like him, realizes Mario might be trying to unite the Kong. That's like three different scenes before Bowser finally does something. One scene. That's one scene. Make that one scene where Bowser realizes Mario's with Peach. Peach likes Mario because Mario's human. I'm going to send people after them. Do that, and now you have a conflict in Act 2. But there's no central, like, it's just different. They go to the Kong people. Kong is like, no. They do something. Kong is like, okay,
Actually,
cool.
Kong is like, he's like that.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
Peter.
I think if you think about it, it does make sense though. They sort of have like a checklist of all the things that they need to do in this movie, and the only way to do it is to sort of bend the plot towards that.
I don't think that's true.
We need to have a Mario Kart sequence. We need to have a Mario jumping sequence. We need to have this. We need to have that. So I think it's like this movie. Sometimes it feels like they are more. It's like we got to do this because of that's what we think our fans want, instead of this is healthy for the plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually think that's fine though. Like that is legitimately like in different screenwriting books, that's like a real thing people talk about, where it's like the promise of the premise. Like when you're going to a movie, what do you want to see from it? It was one of the things I brought up with Scream 6, where I was like, okay, Scream's in New York. What do I want to see? That movie would have been super disappointing if they didn't have New York related sequences.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's not bad that they're trying to deliver what you want to see in a Mario movie. That's fine. but you don't have to take a break from the plot to do that. Like in Scream 6, they are not taking a break from the story to do some stupid action sequence. It's progressing the story every single time they do it.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think
You don't
yeah,
need to compromise your plot.
yeah,
the problem is that it is like all it is a commercial. It's just the one thing, and it's not being the other. So it's saying like the people who created this were saying, how do we promote every single one of our Mario properties, right? So it's like Peter said, they have a checklist. The classic game, right, with the blocks, and not so much the one that I used to play, the 2D. It's now the more raccoon suit, the cat suit ones, the newer versions. So they got to promote those. They got to promote Mario Kart. They have to promote the Donkey Kong game, right? Like it's all of the things. And I think the promise of the premise is a good point, but I think it only like it's like you said, they need to have an actual plot to get there,
yeah,
and like real characters, realized characters,
and you can do that.
and you can do that. I think even then there's a lot in one movie. Like I think you need to
Sure,
restrain
maybe you
yourself.
shave off a little bit, but like,
Donkey Kong should not have been in this movie.
yeah,
That's my take, is that this is an extraneous character that then shoves Luigi off to the side, and it just doesn't work. But anyways,
Yo, by the way, since we brought up Luigi, um, from all the arts I've seen of Luigi, I thought Luigi's a bad guy.
there's literally Waluigi. Like
Oh, maybe that's what I've been seeing.
he's
Because
the
like it's a
purple guy.
Luigi with like the lightning beard. Whoever
Lightning
that.
beard. You
Yeah.
mean this
The
the
lightning
zigzag
staff.
the
Yeah,
zigzag mustache, yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
lightning beard. No, that's the evil. That's Waluigi and Wario.
Okay, okay.
Isn't it great that we didn't have those guys? Can you imagine if they did that too? I'm sad that they didn't have Yoshi, but next time.
that would be fun.
They did, right? They had a pink dinosaur.
They had it in
You,
the background.
you see them in the background, yeah. Anyways, I have a question for you guys. So, talking about that sequence where Mario has to train, clearly what needs to happen is Mario needs to have some amount of skill to be taken along on this quest.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna bounce this off you guys. So what probably should have happened is Mario has parkour skills in the real world, and people say, Mario, you need to stop doing parkour. You're a good plumber, Mario, but you gotta stop it with the parkour. And then he's like, no one understands me and my parkour. And then he finds a world where parkour is the norm and people love his parkour skills, and they have an application here. And so then his natural innate abilities are then of use.
Right.
I think
then you can also cut out a lot of time by the sequence where Mario is trying to make it to the castle. Just have him do parkour in that sequence, have Peach see it and be like, that guy could help me. Now we're moving on, and now we're into the story, and we don't need to waste another 10 minutes.
I mean, I don't think it'd be like, I can think of tons of movies where you have to do like a little competition to do a thing. Like The Woman King comes to mind, where they have to do a little trial to get promoted to something. Like I think that I don't have a problem with that necessarily. Okay. It's the way they do it. But like then also like with the plumbing thing, like would he be a good plumber, or maybe his dad wants him to be a plumber, like one of those things?
Yeah.
Like dad's expectation. Dad wants me to be a plumber.
Yeah,
but I don't want to be a plumber, Dad. I want to be a dancer. You know?
Yeah, it's such a specific.
Dude, what's up with the accents today?
The conflict is with the dad is so like specific. Like the dad is mad at him, not because he's like being a plumber, not because he does parkour or whatever. It's because specifically he quit his other job to start his own business, and they just started, and the dad doesn't see results yet. And it's like, that's so specific that it's like I guess what you should be doing there is trying to like find a way for the dad to like believe in his son, but like that's not it doesn't work. It doesn't wind up happening.
No, it doesn't. Anyways, so Peach brings Mario along. Did we do the point? You had a point about the script is stalling. Did we get through that?
That's generally what I was saying, where it's like even in individual scenes it's true, where the first part the thing that he needs to do to solve the conflict, the thing that needs to happen to solve the conflict, is unrelated to what's happening at the beginning of the scene, and so it doesn't matter. We're filling time until we can move on, and it's like that at a scene level. It's like that on an act level. It's like that on a story level.
Yeah. This movie is also like not funny, which is word for word your review. Like the comedic timing is just so off. Like you could tell me that this was made by aliens or by like a computer, and I would believe you because everything just feels like stilted and wrong.
Yeah.
Like the jokes that on paper work because you've seen them before and they've just stolen them from another movie.
Yeah.
But they've timed them and edited it in such a way that it no longer works.
Yeah.
It's honestly impressive how they make what should be a funny joke not work every single time.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Well, and also like you said, it has to do with the retreading too, where it's like, oh, it's this joke that I've seen in 400 other children's animated movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what like, and there's no spin on it. I also realized about this movie, like this movie, like you could just substitute Mario for anything else. Like this is just like the most bare bones children's adventure movie that you could just substitute Mario out and Mushroom Kingdom and just make it a different thing, and it's the exact same movie more or less. And like, yeah.
You know what? They should have made a movie where Toad was the main character. I think Toad would be a really great main character because it's not the one you would expect.
Yeah.
You know? Kind of like the Lego movie. Like, here's the nobody.
Yeah.
Make them the
That might have been fun. I like that. And then we can also stay in Mushroom Kingdom. We don't have to fucking do this.
Yeah, and here's my
no
life
more
in
Brooklyn.
No, actually, sorry. It would be, here's my life in Mushroom Kingdom. Like the Toad voice.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, this
Everything
movie...
is mushroom.
This movie, because Mario was created in a specific era, they decide to reference this with song.
Oh, that's your interpretation of why they're doing that?
I think so, because Mario is from the 80s. It has to be, right?
My interpretation is that these are the songs that, again, movies from 10, 20 years ago constantly used for these scenes. Shrek, exactly. Like, it's done that, and they're like, we're going to do that.
Okay, okay. Let me check. Original work Donkey Kong was in 1981, so I'm correct. I do think it is partially the fact that it's technically an 80s franchise that has been revived,
and so it's for the parents or whatever that watched it, that played it.
It's not even that. It's just that like that the source material is from that era. So if you're trying to pick music for sequences, it's like, what do you pick? Do you pick Camilla Cabello, like modern music? That would be really...
Wait, why did Camilla Cabello become your example?
I have a crazy idea, which is you make music.
Don't do any...
You do like scores, which they have in the movie, or just like straight up, dude, using the themes from the game would be better. Yeah. Like, and I
think they did use
they do it a little bit, but then just do it the whole time and just make like...
Yeah. I didn't find the Beastie Boys one offensive. I thought that was kind of funny too. It was really on the nose. It's like, we're in Brooklyn, guys, so no sleep till Brooklyn. Duh. Yeah. But the every other one was like taking like a screwdriver and like drilling something through my brain. So they did just the most obvious top charts of the 80s. So Take On Me.
Yeah.
Can you guys name some? Holding Out for a Hero. There was two other ones.
Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah, Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah. Oh my god, I hated that one.
I honestly think my least favorite one was Take On Me. When that came on, I was like,
that was very cliche.
The carding sequence, right? The first one.
I gotta say though, like,
it reminded me of Suicide Squad.
Really?
Suicide Squad does the same thing, where it's just random fucking song plays all the time, and it's just a stupid fucking scene to like a popular song. The first one.
God. Do you guys remember Take On Me for the Last of Us trailer?
Yeah, I figured you were making that up.
But anyways, I gotta say though,
that was fine.
I gotta say though, somehow Holding Out for a Hero just has a special, like, I just have a special attraction.
It's so cheap.
I know it's cheap, but like, I bought it. I ate that shit up, bro.
It works in Shrek 2. It maybe works in Footloose because I think that's where it's from actually.
Oh yeah.
But like, that's about it.
I know, but like,
Loki
didn't-
kind of
I
worked, and
buy
that's a
it.
stretch.
I think it's good. I think the other songs
Everybody
are
is using
cheesy.
that.
I agree, but holding out for a hero, that was. I just like the song. Maybe that's why. But I gotta say though, it's so funny. When I was watching it, I was watching in a theater full of kids, and then when Mr. Blue Sky came up, during the ending sequence, everyone around me started singing it, and I was like, "Yo!"
Go kill myself. That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to look up all the movies Holding Up for Your Hero has been in. Okay, it was. I'll go
'Cause
from more recent. Okay,
my
so
thing is
it was. It was
I
in
didn't even-
Shazam. It was
Oh,
in
really?
Shazam 2 like a month
Yeah.
a month ago.
Right.
What else? It was in. Oh, really? It was in Bullet Train. It was in
Oh, yeah.
Euphoria. It was in Loki. It was in. That's a trailer. It was in the Angry Birds movie 2. It was
It was
in.
in Loki. I didn't.
It
know
was
that.
yes, it was. I totally remember that.
I
It was in the
remember
trailer for Detective Pikachu. So it's really got a video game
Yeah.
connection here. I don't know what that is. Regular show. I think that's about it. So it was really just like a really recent. And yeah, Shrek 2. Oh, it's so good in Shrek 2 though.
Okay.
That's the bar.
My personal thing is, I didn't like Shrek when I was a kid. I didn't think
It just
Like,
reminds
here
me
we
of
go.
Shrek.
I didn't like that kind of gag when I was a kid. I still thought like this is lame. Like, and so like, as an adult, when I've now seen it 4 million times, like it's even worse. Like, this
I don't
movie
know, yeah.
not only is it bad, it's just everything about it is concocted to specifically be bad for me. Like it's concocted for me not to like it.
This is the anti-Aiden movie.
Yeah.
You had a point, Aiden. Do you want to read it out? Because I don't feel like stealing your thunder.
Sure. So the point I wrote in our discussion points was lowest common denominator, AI generated dog shit, truly meaningless, soulless garbage. I hope John Illumination fucking drowns.
Oh my god, Aiden.
I don't know if you need to elaborate, but
I
you can.
actually think
you
I've
have
touched
the.
on what I mean by that already.
I think
this
the
is-
point says it all. Really.
Yeah, it's a soulless retread. I hate this movie.
Yeah.
I hate that, like, genuinely the thing I said in the beginning is like this movie speaks to such a lack of respect for kids, the people you're making this movie for. I'm being dead serious. Like
Yeah,
this
No, I know. I agree.
like this says like you think kids are fucking idiots who have
Yeah.
no ability to appreciate anything. You don't want to make something that's going to stick with them, that when they grow up they're going to watch it and be like, that was good and I remember that and I loved that. You don't care. Like, fuck you. This makes me upset.
Yeah. And it like the direct contrast was between the last kids movie I saw, which was Puss in Boots, which was not as good as everyone was saying. Like it has its flaws, but like was really good comparatively and creative and actually had a soul to it. It's very sad. Here's one thing I had that I enjoyed. The Bowser's like sidekick, who's a wizard, is doing like a Peter Lorre shtick. Like, do you know who that is? Peter Lorre from like the Maltese Falcon. You gotta know who this guy is.
I've seen the Maltese Falcon,
He's
but
the girl who talks like this. Who's a little. Yeah, he's.
Dude, that's just a Gollum voice, bro.
No, it's
I've
not.
seen the movie, but I don't even. They made two
He's-
Maltese Falcons. Oh, they did. I knew that.
I know that. He's the sidekick to the real evil guy.
Oh, he's Joel Cairo. Yeah.
Yeah. And he talks like this, like maybe a little less emphasis, but
That's
he
the guy
still
that's also
sounds
in
really
Casablanca,
weird.
right? Yeah.
And the guy who's voicing the wizard decided to do that, like an
Yeah.
homage to that guy. Hilarious. That worked for me. Not hilarious because people have been doing Peter Lorre impressions for other characters forever. Like that's just a common thing, and specifically for like sidekicks of villains. But I do like a good classic film reference.
Sure.
So like I was like, that's a fun choice.
I didn't pick up on it, so
okay. He's like Bowser. Whatever. Other voice acting. Let's just talk about voice acting.
Okay, this is something I'll say generally fine. I don't really have a problem with this.
I had one that I hated more than Mario. Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen
Yeah,
needs
that
to
was a bad
stop.
choice.
That
Yeah.
was really
He was just,
annoying.
he was just Seth Rogen.
He was
Yeah.
just Seth Rogen. And man, no, I really hated that. But like,
I actually, now that I'm saying, I didn't think, I stopped noticing it, but when we first met her, I was like, Anya Taylor-Joy is not doing a great job here. When we first met Peach, I was like, this is like, I don't know.
it's it's the classic case of like when you're hiring a celebrity to just do their voice,
Yeah,
and it's so boring, and it
yeah,
sometimes works if they have a distinct voice that matches the character.
yeah.
But otherwise, you should just be hiring voice actors who can do different voices
But
that
like,
fit the character.
I'll say Charlie Day and Keegan Mike and Key, I actually liked what they were doing.
Yeah,
Because
Toad was great.
Keegan Michael Key is actually doing a voice.
Yeah.
He's doing something different than his regular voice.
Yeah,
Jack
Toad is
Black is
fantastic.
doing a different voice than what
Yeah.
his normal voice sounds like. I
Yeah,
think
no, I actually, the Keegan Michael Key is my favorite part of this, I think, for sure.
Yeah,
he was
Toad.
fun. Yeah.
Toad is great. The Penguin King is fucking fantastic.
Who was that? Was that?
It's
I thought
it's
is
the
it-
guy that was in The Walking Dead. He was that has
Okay.
the tiger, I think.
Oh, it was him.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's Kari Payton.
Who
Cool.
else is good?
I don't.
Luigi
I
was
don't know.
okay.
Even like Mario was like that was a pretty basic choice, but not as offensive as we were getting earlier. like I was like, okay, whatever. That's a whatever choice. It's a very safe. And I still think that comment about like he has a great blue collar voice. Chris Pratt is a great blue collar. Sure, that's kind of what it is, but sure. We kind of talked about
my
sorry,
problem with the Mario voice is less to do with Chris Pratt and honestly just the decision to do the stupid fucking why are we doing that accent? Like that's what my problem is.
Yeah,
so
that's annoying.
As soon as that happened, I was like, whatever. I didn't really care.
Yeah. Let's talk about Deus Ex Mario. So we've kind of touched on this, but as soon as a problem is introduced, it is like immediately solved because we have to keep going and characters can't show growth. So the one that really irritated me was when Donkey Kong and Mario are stuck in the belly of a whale. They've been Pinocchio'd.
Yeah.
And like they have to have a heart to heart. Basically, they need to be like trapped together because the plot has been constructed in such a way that it is about them overcoming their differences for some reason. I still do not understand why.
But it's not
is
they haven't gotten there in a strong enough way that it like
no,
means
not
much.
they don't even really have differences
Yeah.
because they just met.
Yeah.
And so like they need to talk. They just need to say to each other that they both have daddy issues. Like that's all that has to happen in the scene. They both have to say that we're both disappointments to our fathers, and as soon as they admit that, the solution magically appears. the eel thing that they are stuck in burps. I think.
Yeah.
It has gastric reflux or something, and part of Donkey Kong's cart appears before them. The solution is handed down to them from up on high, and they're like, "Oh, let's just use this to escape." No critical thinking, no like anything. It is literally a Deus Ex Mario, as I'm calling it.
No, and what I think is hilarious is that once they're escaping, Mario says to Donkey Kong, "That was amazing." For one thing, we didn't even see what they did specifically. It cuts away before they do whatever they do with the cart to like what if they like and I don't know if I'd want to spend time here, but like what if they like struggled to ignite the thing and they needed to like work together to ignite it or I don't know.
Imagine that working together. That'd be
like,
crazy.
Like and it's not amazing. Like you just got sent to a cart and then used the cart. Like
not amazing. No, I agree. Characters don't have to struggle in this movie.
Yeah.
Like they just do shit all the time. We already talked about this commercial. This is a compliment for the film I have, is that Peach is not a damsel. And it's one of those things where like it's obviously gonna end up being a target for the people who are like Mario purists who starts saying like, "Oh, they made Mario woke. They woked Mario," but like honestly, great choice. I think if they kept it with the original game, I think that would have been
It's the right
people
thing
would
to
have
do, but I
votes.
also don't feel like patting them on the back for it at all. Because I don't believe
Yeah.
that what you said isn't the very reason they did it, is so that they get a bit of Twitter outcry, and then they can have a bunch of articles written where they can clap back saying like, we at the Mario movie support women, so go see our movie because we're progressive. I don't buy that that's not why they're doing that. And so it's like, yes, it's the right thing to do. Don't get me wrong. They shouldn't have made her a damsel in distress. But like, I'm not going to give you credit for just like giving something to a female character. That's just,
Yeah.
it's like a baseline nothing thing.
And I think also the issue is then they decide the solution is to replace her with Luigi, which is
Yeah.
wrong because again, that should have been the heart of the movie. It's the
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros movie.
Yeah.
That's the name of the movie, and there's this like a significant lack of bro going on here.
That is true.
Like clear, like I think what should have happened is take Donkey Kong out of this movie for one, and just like have Mario and Luigi struggle to work together. Like they just have each of them has
Like, they think their relationship is fine in the real world. They get to the magical world and it's being tested, and then they split apart and they have to come back together.
And like maybe then Luigi gets captured. Have him captured way later.
Yeah.
So much later.
And then like if you're like,
whatever.
okay, well, what's the motivation for them to try to escape? Make it so that they have to go on the adventure, otherwise they can't escape. Like
they still have to like save people. It's not
right.
like Mario doesn't have a reason to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, then there's one of the most baffling sequences to me, Bonsai Bill. So we do the wedding thing. That was kind of, I thought it was fun to see all the bad guys at the wedding. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
the time bomb
the
guy.
ghost.
Oh, and King Boo, like that just made me laugh.
Oh, that's
not for like
King
a good
Boo?
reason.
Okay.
Yeah. His name is King Boo. I don't know what the bomb's name is, but anyways, things are going wrong for Bowser. So then he sends out the most enormous bullet guy, Bonsai Bill.
Yeah.
And like, truly, what the fuck was that? When Mario, like, to save
punched
the day,
him in the face.
Yeah, to save the day, Mario's like, I can't do it. I can't push up against it. It's not working. I have to do something different. And then punches him in the eye. And like he has a realization moment, like, oh, I've just learned something.
Yeah.
And he like it's nothing we've established earlier.
That has to be something he learned earlier. That's the only way that beat works, is if he learned to do whatever it is earlier.
And they treat it as if like it was a learning moment.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. He's not once punched someone in the eyeball in this movie. It's
so fucking stupid.
I also can't think of it. What else would they do? Like I don't know.
No, literally, and that's why I was sitting in the theater and I was like, okay, I don't know how he's gonna solve this. Okay, you got me there. And then it's like, oh, okay, you're just gonna.
Of course
it's like the Ant-Man thing where it's like one frisbee didn't work. What about 5?
Oh man!
Let me just try again. Second time's the charm.
Honestly, when I was watching that scene, I was just praying that it doesn't end up being like an Iron Man Avengers 1 moment. Where like Iron Man has to
it kind of was. It kind of was. He decides to send the nuke into a portal. It's kind of the same thing.
I would have preferred that. If like they're trying to make a movie that's doing like somewhat self-referential comedy, if you were referencing the biggest franchise of the past decade, that's at least something. Like I would have preferred that.
Yeah. I honestly can't think of a single thing he could have done. Like maybe the giant mushroom, but like that's literally just like how am I going to solve this logistically, not from character or from plot.
Right.
I get it. It's because he hates eating mushrooms, and he would have to eat a ginormous mushroom.
Yeah.
Like that's
really way better. Yeah,
it is better because it's like the smallest bit of character development.
Yeah,
and like because he hates mushrooms and he has to sacrifice and it's silly and stupid,
but
like, that works.
that is a story. Like
Yeah.
that is a story beat that is real. Like
And also, like, maybe he does have to sacrifice himself. Like, he has to get hit by the bullet.
yeah,
And maybe he doesn't. Like, he just loses the power up.
yeah.
Anyways, this is a stupid movie. Mario destroys Brooklyn. That is the solution to your problem. Send, like, even when he started doing it, I was like, you're fucking moronic. If you think sending the bullet into the portal is a good idea. Like what did you think was going to happen? Like,
Yeah.
okay, if it had just blown up the pipe, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
you just lose your access to home. That's an interesting
And
thing.
if that's what he had to sacrifice was like the
Yeah.
connection to his family, like yeah.
Second option, if it's just like a clever thing, I thought it would be really funny if, like, if the portal transforms things in the Mushroom Kingdom into real life equivalents, so that,
Oh.
like, a bullet just becomes like a little bullet and it just goes like clink. Like,
Yeah.
that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Would have had like no purpose or like no consequences for his actions, so kind of boring.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It's at least a gag. Like it's something.
At least a clever gag.
Yeah.
Something that has not been rehashed a million times over. And then we get in Brooklyn. Everyone comes to Brooklyn. Bowser is not a silly little turtle guy, which I thought would be funny, but I guess we can't do that. Can't do comedy anymore.
They made it illegal. That's what Mario should have been.
That's what happened in this movie. That's
Mario
why it's bad.
Mario should have been anti-woke culture, and he had to learn to get over it. It should have opened with Mario as a stand-up bit when he's getting booed, and he's like, "Oh, what? I can't joke about that anymore."
He's just the Joker. He's the Joker. Just make Joker again. Anyways, we get our stupid fucking pizzeria moment. Would you like to read this one, Aidan?
Yeah, so it's again where it's like a moment where you recognize it, and it's like that's the thing that happens in movies. The character is beaten down. In this case, it's Mario, who like got knocked to the side into the pizzeria from the beginning, and on the cracked TV ahead of him, he sees his commercial playing, and it says like, "We're the Super Mario Brothers," and then he's like, "Yeah, we are." And then he gets up and then he goes and fights him. But like the point of that would be if the character like had lost his way or was going to give up or had given up early in the movie, and now he had found a reason to fight, and so seeing the bond with his brother is his reason to fight or whatever, and so that's what gets him up.
Clearly he needed a falling out with his brother, and they just decided never to do that.
Yes.
Because that's what the commercial is about, is them being brothers.
Right.
And this is a realization for a moment that did not happen in this movie.
And I was going to say, the only thing we know about Mario is that he doesn't give up. He does not know when to quit. That is explicitly said multiple times. So why does he need motivation to not quit? That's the only thing we know about him.
This movie so... Also, I'm just thinking about like the Luigi thing. There's actually like a meta-ness to the Mario and Luigi relationship, in that for a lot of people who grew up with Mario, if you played with Luigi, it was because you had a sibling.
Right.
Because you were playing with your sibling. So there's a meta reason why that story is touching and would like work for people. Because also Luigi is probably just gonna be the younger person. Like in my family, my brother was playing Luigi because he was younger, and I was like, I'm gonna be Mario. Obviously, I want to be Mario. And so if you had like played with that idea, like the playing on the fears of the older sibling and the younger sibling, and attribute those to the characters, hello, you've got a movie. And they just like, it's just so fucking. No, we're not gonna do anything. We're not gonna do any of that. Anyways. Anything else about the stupid fucking pizzeria moment? Is this supposed to be an arc? Question mark. Parentheses? Yeah. And then we have what I like to call the superstar of Damocles.
I don't know what the reference is. What is that?
I'm pulling a deep reference. So that's a Greek myth where there is a king who has like a sword hanging over. I think there's different versions.
Oh yeah,
I just looked it up today, and so there's a loose reference. So it's just the idea that when you're in power, there's always like this threat of like someone's going to try and take it away from you kind of thing.
Okay.
And so it's symbolized by a sword hanging above your head,
Sure.
hanging by a thread. And so the idea is like the superstar is that for Bowser because he acquires it in the opening minutes of the movie and decides not to use it the whole time.
Yeah.
It's literally looming behind him the whole time because he wants to do this other really creepy thing and just really wants to marry Peach. And you know what? I'm fine if that's the story you want to do, but like whatever.
He also doesn't need it. The first thing we see of him is that he is powerful enough to burn down an entire kingdom without the star. We also learn that he has a giant bullet that he can use at any time.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the star.
It's just very clearly a thing for Mario to use at the end.
Yeah.
Like so like clear as day. No hidden anything. It's just
or what if the plot was he stole it because he knew it was the only thing that could stop him because he's super powerful, and then the plot is they have to go get it instead of trying to unite the Kong army.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like anything other than what they did. Because it's literally like the whole time it's just an empty threat where Bowser's like, I'm gonna do it. Stay away. I'm gonna hey, so close. If you don't marry me, I'll use it. I'll do it. Don't make me tap the sign. I'll do it. And it's just like, no, you're not. Clearly Mario was just going to use it.
Yeah.
So that was a waste of time. And then he gets it. And then he shares it with Luigi, which is, as I said to Sasha, not how that power-up works. Can't share a power-up, which
that's also a meta thing where it's like you're playing with your family, you're playing with your sibling, and it's like the one person always wants to get the good power-up.
Yeah. This movie. We could have written such a better Mario movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems that they want to keep doing this every so often. There was the one from the 90s that was bad. So I mean, give it 20 years, Aidan and I, we can make a bad Mario movie.
We'll make the next Mario movie, yeah.
Anyways, anything before we get to your last point, Peter? Any comments on the film? We haven't heard from Peter in a while.
I hated everything about it. There was not a second where I was enjoying myself in this movie, aside from the one Toad moment where I was like,
I think you made that very clear.
Wahoo!
Yeah.
So, anything for you, Peter, before your final point?
I just want to talk about it's a very interesting experience watching movies with kids again. Like we usually watch movies that are more mature, more like indie, like movies that the kids won't go see, right? Yeah. And having a packed theater full of kids is a different movie going experience.
It was crazy, and for all of us, we all had separate same issues.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Sorry, what was the question?
Quick interruption. When did you guys see the movie? At what time of day?
I saw it yesterday, right after lunch, around 12:40.
So so that's noon on a holiday.
Last night.
Yeah, you saw it at like a kind of a reasonable time for children. I saw it at 9:45. Like should be past these children's bedtime, and the theater was packed. So like God. I don't know what's going on, but like there should not have been that many kids. It was.
I think it literally is like movie that parents can take their kids to that is a recognizable property is out on a holiday. Like I think
that is
true. They know what they're doing.
Theater was packed. But anyways, Peter.
But I just thought it's very very funny when the movie opened and it was the Bowser scene, Bowser taking over the Penguin Castle, and then a kid before Bowser did anything was like, I'm so scared. I was just like, what are you scared about? Oh my God. But anyways, I just thought it's like a different experience, you know, like most of the time it's like the theater is a little more empty, you know, less people reacting, and kids are like a reaction, like they're the reacting bunch, man. Like
it was fun being in a packed theater again, but
that is true though.
I just wish it was for a
agree.
better movie.
I know.
Like that's fun.
Yeah. So your point here, though, I think is interesting to talk about. You said, can a movie be bad if it's a kid's film? And I
Yeah.
think,
So
yes, I think Mario is the example that proves the rule.
Yes.
Yes, a movie can be bad even if it's for kids. Because,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
Aidan
So
was saying, like, you don't treat your kids like your audience like they're idiots. Because
Yeah.
kids can tell that too.
Yeah. And even like, look, I'm sure tons of kids saw this and were like, this is fun and liked it. I'm sure they enjoyed it. But in 10 years, they're not going to look fondly on this movie. This movie is not going to be an important part of their lives. And it's like, you think about movie, like I've mentioned a few times where I watched The Incredibles, a movie that came out when I was a kid, the other day. I watched it again. It was like, that was an incredible, hey,
that was
that's an incredible movie. And I look at it now and there are things that I didn't realize about it that I didn't realize when I was a kid that I realize now, but I still like I picked up on the things that I needed to pick up on to enjoy it as a kid. And that's not to say that you even have to make every movie something that will be appealing to an adult. You just have to like go all in on making it something that's going to be like fun and awesome for kids while also just delivering a story. Like I still like this, like the Spy Kids movies. There's nothing for adults in there generally, like for the most part, like, but I still look back fondly on those movies because it was like they were clearly concocted with love to make like the most awesome kids movie. You know what I mean? Whereas this is just nothing. It's just soulless.
Yeah. Yep. So we watched the movie, and that was a bad time. Aidan, do you have a segment for us?
I think I think I do. So the podcast is called Predator versus Movies, and if you haven't noticed already, we've done the movie part. So now it's time to get into the Predator. So we asked the question: would the Predator from the movie Predator improve upon this movie were he in it?
Anything. Just
Yeah,
anything in this
anything
movie
to
would
make
make it
this
better.
something.
I just like headshot Mario,
Yo,
just kill him in the first 5 seconds.
what if instead of the big bullet coming out of the volcano is Predator?
What if one of the
Sure.
pipes leads to Predator World?
Oh,
Nice.
Yep.
Yep.
nice.
Okay, Peter, what's our next segment?
We have a segment. It's called Predator's Picks. We watch
What's our next
movies.
segment? We have a segment. Thanks for letting me know.
It's called Predator's Picks. We watch movies. We talk movies.
We
What do you
talk
guys
shows.
watch?
We talk shows too.
Yeah. What do you guys watch this past week?
Oh,
Yeah,
Alex has a huge.
Yeah, Alex has a list.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll start. So I'll blaze through these. So I've been keeping up with Succession. Episode 2 was great. New episode out tomorrow for us, but in the past for when we release this. Very excited. Great show. Everyone should be watching that. Still rewatching. No, sorry. Still catching up on Bob's Burgers. Still a fantastic show. Love it. There is an order to this. Last week I watched Old Boy for the first time,
Mhm.
Park Chan-wook film. It's dated for sure.
Okay.
It's like people like say this is like one of the greatest cinematic achievements of all time. Great film. I won't knock that. Very sexist. Just like women are props in that movie. They're like plot devices and that is it. And for a movie that is like trying to sort of be about a women's honor, like it's very gross and misogynistic. So definitely hard to watch for the first time and in like our modern era. But yeah, like as a piece of art, it's quite good. Like that's, and it's hard to separate those things, but so maybe worth checking out, but definitely don't be afraid to like criticize it for what it is. Last week I also watched Tetris. That is a Wikipedia page come to life. Literally, like there's no character or like just the slimmest definition of what a character is. It is literally just a depiction of the events of how the rights to Tetris were acquired. That's pretty
Nice.
well all the movie is.
Guy who made a product.
Guy who made a product, and there's tons more where that comes from apparently.
Alex, I gotta ask though.
You gotta ask though.
Did you dig the stash?
He has a good stash. What's his name? Taron
Egerton.
Yeah, he's got a good stash in that movie. What can I say? I'm a fan of stashes. Mario's stash didn't do it for me, but Taron Egerton did.
Yeah.
I watched this movie called Rye Lane. That is a movie from this year. It is the best film I've seen all year. Kind of a low standard, not really difficult to leap to the top of that list.
Sure.
Before that, it was John Wick, which is at 4 stars, but I could see it in future revisiting going to 3.5. So like, there's room for like a movie to wow me, and
Sure.
I think Rye Lane is not like Rye Lane is a 4-star movie. There's still plenty of better movies to come out this year, but it was the first kind of like someone wanted to make this, and like they had a vision kind of movie I've seen all year, and it was really refreshing. So there's like a really distinct color palette. They do they really like wide angle lenses. So I think Aidan will like this.
Yeah, those are fun.
It's a rom-com. It's a British rom-com, and it was a great time. It's a really short, like I think it was like 80 minutes or something. So like it's really quick in and out, just kind of like your basic rom-com stuff. But it was a good time, and the characters are charming.
Rom-com taking the top spot on your list is news to me.
It's the best thing I've seen all year.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I think for me, Knock at the Cabin has still not been dethroned. That's still my favorite movie that I've seen this year. And then it's Screenplay for me.
Okay. I watched Mad Max, the original. It's pretty good. It's Max gets pretty mad. I don't know, like they say it's a dystopia, but I'm like, could surprise me. Like it looks pretty. It's not as dystopian as you might think. Like Fury Road is dystopia. Right. Mad Max is just like things are a little bit weird. There's like there's still the police. Mad Max is a policeman. And so I was like, this just looks like Australia. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. But it was fun.
I haven't seen any of the Mad Maxes. I haven't even seen Fury Road.
Oh really? I'm probably gonna try and watch all of them at some point. I don't know. I just felt like watching it. Actually,
have you finished your MCU rewatch yet?
No, because no, I don't have any good reason. I should get back on that. You're right. I started a new challenge for myself though, and that's kind of where Mad Max inspired this challenge. Is I want to see the 10 most popular films according to Letterboxd for every year from 1960 to 2022.
That's fun.
And so just by virtue of what I've already seen, I'm already halfway done. So it's not really like a difficult thing. Right. It's just a challenge to get me to watch kind of like the classics, really.
Yeah.
So Mad Max is on there. Peter, Stop Touching Mike. And what else can I say?
Oh, that's a good one. I've heard of that movie, Peter, Stop Touching Mike. That's a good movie.
Yeah. I watched. So, anyways, because I made that list, there's unfortunately a lot of movies that I would not have wanted to watch otherwise that I now have forced myself to watch, including Twilight, which is a movie that I watched yesterday. Not as bad as the Mario movie. like I gave it a 3 and I bumped it down to 2.5.
Sure.
But like really competently filmed,
surprisingly.
like someone directed this. And I mean it's directed by the person who did 13, which is a well-known, I think, indie movie from that kind of era.
She did one of the episodes of Cabinet of Curiosities too. She did the last one.
Okay, yeah. Catherine Hardwicke, I think. Yeah. And like, obviously the romance stuff is a little cringy. But it's more like camp, so I'm laughing at it, which is really fun.
That's what I mean. Like, that movie's like very aware of what it is. Like it's like going overboard and being campy. It does the Seattle filter. Everyone is so pale. It has all like the Dutch angles and stuff. Like I think it's so much fun. And the next movies abandon all of that. They color it normally and they film it normally. And it's like I think that ruins all the fun. Where like
I'm not gonna watch them. This is enough Twilight for me.
Don't do it. You saw the best one.
Yo,
It's
are you Team Edward or Team Jacob, bro?
Jacob isn't even in the movie that
Yeah.
much.
Oh.
Like he's aside. He's
Yeah,
an
he doesn't
admin
come
dog.
in.
I've never seen any of the Twilight movies. I just know apparently there's
This
a
one
debate.
was actually worth watching.
I stand by that. The first one's fun to watch. Like it's
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I think it drags a little bit at the end. Like I
Sure.
definitely stopped paying attention in the battle. Just because like that the villain comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy? Why is he the thing we're doing?
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. And like halfway through, I was like, I'm gonna try something, and I switched to French audio to see
What?
see if making it like seem like a foreign film like changed it for me. And I was like, this is actually like more fun
That's
in a
so
way.
fun.
Oh,
Because
really?
they're like, yeah, like it was just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was not as bad as I thought. And then because it and also John Wick reminded me of one of my favorite franchises, I got maybe like halfway through last night. I went halfway through Curse of the Black Pearl, Pirates of the Caribbean, because that is just, I love that movie. So I got about halfway, but it got late, so I stopped. But love those movies. That is my Predators picks for this week. Aidan, what did you watch?
So I've been continuing to watch The Wire, which continues to be very, very good. It's a really like refreshing, it's a really interesting style the show has, where it's on one hand like very much in within the realm of realism, but it's also using like fairly complex like gambits with the camera that are like, so it's this mix of like naturalism and formalism that is actually, it's really fun to watch. Like there's one episode where there's like two dolly zooms in it, and the second one is like you wouldn't notice unless you were looking really hard for it. And not that like you do a dolly zoom and all of a sudden it's cinema or whatever, but it's just like the show is constantly making like really interesting choices. Like it utilizes match cuts really well. It develops it does a really good job of like, you don't think any of the characters are like great people other than like maybe like Greg's like officer. Well, even she does like a bad thing too. She does like shitty things as well. Like it does a good job of, none of the characters are really good people, but you're somewhat rooting for all of them, even on both sides of both the cop and drug dealer sides of it. It does a really good job of like developing the conflict and balancing all its characters. No, I've really enjoyed this show, so I would recommend everyone go see The Wire. It's, there are also sometimes where it's very like emotionally resonant, and yeah. But so that's a great show. I've been watching that, almost done for a season. I also, the night prior to watching Mario, as I mentioned, I watched the movie The Incredibles, which I gave a 5-star review on Letterboxd, and I absolutely stand by that. Like,
Yeah.
what I wrote was that if you just update the movie with more recent animation, this movie's perfect. Because that's the one thing where it's like, it's still the kind of early CG model thing where it's like,
Yeah.
sometimes the characters are kind of dead behind the eyes and stuff like that. But this movie is like, it's so good. It's so good. It's so solid. It's so tight. You talking about movies, the promise of the premise and like doing things that are satisfying to the audience. This movie delivers that like constantly. Like the premise of superhero family, how are they going to work together? Like it does that so well, to the point where I know what's going to happen, and I was still like, oh my god, yes. Like as soon as something, like the moment where Dash runs on water for the first time is like one of the greatest moments in cinema. That's so fun to watch. And it does that while also dealing with legitimately mature like themes and concepts, and like the way it deals with like family and like marriage and transposing like normal domestic conflicts into this superhero context is really
Like-
well done.
Like how Bob feels emasculated and then
Yeah.
has to like feels like superheroing is his only outlet to
Yeah.
be a man. Like that's
That's great.
real. That's a real topic.
And how the kids, like, they have to hide the thing that makes them different, and they have to be ashamed of it. Like, and the resolution to that isn't we're gonna publicly be superheroes, although they commit to that. The commitment is just that like they're able to express themselves in some way. Like that's all. Like, you know, like Dash is able to compete in the thing at the end, and he doesn't win because it's not. He just is able to do this thing and embrace himself a little bit, and like that's great. There's things I picked up on that. Like when I was a kid, when uh, uh, Mrs. Incredible sees the hair on Bob's suit and then goes out and she's crying while he's pulling away. When I was a kid, I was like, why is she crying? Like, I never understood why she was upset, but it didn't matter. I didn't need to get that as a kid. And I understood it as an adult, where it's like, oh, okay, like she thinks he's having an affair. And I didn't know that as a kid, but it doesn't matter. And like, that's an example of a kid's movie that can deal with mature things in a really well way. I think this was like a great movie. I think it's laugh out loud funny, and I think it's great.
Also, like the idea that the villain is like a rejected fanboy,
Yeah.
timeless. That is a
Yes.
timeless idea, and I don't know if I can think of an earlier version of that. Like I don't know if they've done that, if that had happened in media before.
At least
Anyways,
not mainstream, like super. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Like, no, I thought it was great. It's the third act is super strong. I think. I mean, the whole thing is, but like, it's a great ending too.
Frozone. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Frozen. Yeah, and then
Frozen's great.
the way they have to defeat the monster, and then it becomes about like everything comes back, everything ties back in, the capes ties back in, Jack, oh, you're normal, that ties back in, and it becomes a thing. Yeah, it's a great movie. Other movie I watched is I am currently on a rather strange bender challenge.
You're
Where
on a bender.
I, I want to go through David Lynch and Steven Spielberg's catalogs, and so I'm going to be trading all of that. I couldn't tell you why those are the two
Sure.
I've chosen. I think it's just that they're both good directors that I realize I've seen not that much of their work. So I watched David Lynch's Lost Highway, which is a great movie. It's like a really like mind-bending neo-noir movie that on the surface might seem like it's just nonsense in some ways, where it's like what's happening, but it's very well written. I think it's actually incredible the way that it is able to be this like wacky, like what the fuck is going on movie, while also having very clear central themes and establishing them really quickly with visual language and writing so that you can develop on them. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a moment that's probably like 30-40 minutes into the movie where you're like, what? And then it spends the next like little bit. It's whatever. I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
But it's an insane movie. It's really, really well done. I'm excited to watch more David Lynch. This is a great movie. So I would definitely recommend it to people.
Cool. Peter, do you have any Predators picks?
I have one. So last Sunday I watched The French Dispatch, and I'm personally more about like feature film, like everything cohesive together instead of a collection of short stories. But like if we look at the individual short stories presented in The French Dispatch, they're each charming and Wes Anderson in their own way. But this did make me more excited for Asteroid City, because Asteroid City will be one cohesive film instead of a collection of short stories. So yeah, it's good, and Jeffrey Wright's Chef one. It's got to be my favorite out of the all the newspaper articles, magazine articles, I think.
Yeah, Peter and I have had lengthy off-pod discussions about his take on the French Dispatch and whether that's like a warranted take. But I think ultimately what we decided was there's an element of subjective criticism where if you don't like a movie, you can't be wrong for that.
Right.
You know, like but in addition, critiquing a movie because critiquing a movie for not having like the form or the characteristics it was never trying to have is also not really a great criticism. So like Peter, you said like you didn't like that it had no central narrative and my response was it was never supposed to, and that's just the way that movie is. In some movies it's not the only ones, they're not meant to be like that. It's
just a taste thing, right? Like, and that's fine, but
so we had a discussion about that, but I will say that I'm a fan of The French Dispatch. I really like that one. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Anyways, next week we might have to do Dungeons and Dragons.
My vote is D&D. I don't want to see. I can't watch a movie about guy who made a product. I just can't do it.
Okay, he doesn't want to watch Air, and I kind of made a loose promise to Peter, so looks like maybe we'll be doing D&D. If you like us, go check us out on Instagram and Twitter. We're at Predator v Movies. If you like my thoughts on movies, go check me out on Letterboxd at _AlexGordon_. I leave reviews.
I'm Aidan.
You are Aidan. That's true.
I also have a letterbox. It's 810 Sunny. That's 810 SONNY. My name is Wombo. I also leave reviews sometimes, although they are usually not lengthy. But go follow me.
Yeah, I've also gotten pretty short with my reviews. I need to get back into it. Peter, do you have anything to plug?
Oh.
No, don't.
Okay, so I actually like to plug my. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything.
You got it. And you know what that means, guys. So
review time.
Peter didn't plug anything, which means you guys have to review the podcast. That's the deal.
Have to. Yeah, that's the legal binding contract.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the show. That's it.
That's the show. That's it, dude.
That's it.
See you guys next week.
Mario.
Yeah,
Yep.
go home. Wait, am I supposed to do something? Are we? Oh, until next time.
Oh, right.
Until next time. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm Alex.
I'm Peter.
I'm Aidan.
And this is Predator versus Movies. Pew, pew, pew.